Today we are going to assign a piece of music to your beginner class. So far, you have signed up for an educator account in Smart Music, and you have created a class and then invited students to join your class using the class code. So you need to do all of those things first before coming to this point. And then you'll go to home.smartmusic.com and then log in using your educator account. Okay? You know you'll be in your educator account because it will say up here assignments to be graded. It does look very similar to the student side. So look for the assignments to be graded, practice analysis, classroom management. If you click on your class, go to students, you'll see a list of students here under active. I only have myself in this class, and you can enroll, make sure you have another student from this class using their student access email as part of yours, because they are going to record this for you. Okay, then what do we need to know? Go back to classes. Oh, don't look at this. Let's see, go back home. All right. So now, I know what I wanted to do. Go to Tools in your class, under Classroom Management, and let's make sure that we have a grading scale. Yes. Okay, grading scale. Let's reuse. We'll do a plus minus. So that means we have A plus from 96% to 100, A minus, and so on. F is a 0 to 59%. Pretty standard grading scale. We'll save it. I also discovered in class today you need to have a grading calendar. So you create a grading calendar and the start and end dates. This would be what you would use if you were actually teaching in public school. You'd have it by semester or by year, however you want to do that, so that all your grades get in by certain times. You could do every 6 weeks. And then we'll save. You can also pin a method book, and so all your students will see it on their dashboard if you pick a method book. I just want to pick Essential Elements this time, so you can save any book you want in there. And then you can select if you want to award certain behaviors, discipline. You can define the parameters. We play at least 2 times over the past 2 days. I don't know, something like that. You can do whatever you want. The students get, it's just for motivation. Okay. So once you've set those parameters, you've designed your class and you've set that up. The grading calendar, in order to make an assignment, you have to have a grading calendar set up. You are ready to find and assign something. Okay, so remember way back at the beginning of the semester when you explored the music? Now we're going to actually find a piece for E-flat alto saxophone for a beginner. And I'm recommending, let's go to method books only, and then we will set it to E-flat alto saxophone. And that'll get rid of like some of the orchestra methods and things like that, so we can find methods for saxophone, and we'll do beginning. That's kind of limited. Let's do, no, don't put anything under difficulty. You'll be able to decide on something. So let's go to Essential Elements. And what you should do first is just look around and find something that fits what you are trying to accomplish, which is you are going to test your students on their ability to create a nice sound on the first notes, which we learned as C, B, A, and G. I will tell you that many of these band methods actually start with written D, which is concert F, which we know too, so that's okay. We can go with it as well. So let's look for something. So we can open it first just to make sure it's what we want to assign. And go to E flat alto saxophone. And then let's try Two's a Team. That one's a neat one. Okay. And it'll open. And we have quarter notes. This is one thing I honestly don't like about Essential Elements is that they have the letter names in the note heads. But this is just for you to see how to go about assigning something. So Two's a Team. We can test students for, are they getting the right fingerings? It's very simple from one note to the next. This is a good one actually because it's going from just left hand 2 to all 6 and the octave key. So I think this would probably be a good one to use, even though maybe the format isn't my favorite, but that is just how Essential Elements is set up in the method books. Okay, and just as a reminder, if you're looking in here, you can actually check out your fingerings. If there's more than one fingering for a note, the standard will be first. And then you can also hear the sound of it. Okay, so we like this one, Two's a Team. You can go ahead and assign it from right here. You just, up in the top menu, hit Assessment and then Assign. And that's one way to do it. I am actually going to go back to here and click Assign from here. Two's a Team. And then you'll get your assignment setup page. You go to Custom Assignment, and then we'll say, please use headphones to reduce the amount of feedback in recording. Sit an appropriate distance from the microphone to prevent distortion. Okay. And now if they used headphones, then you can hear metronome click if you want, which would be important for young students. And then the accompaniment is the fun part for the kids. They get to play with the accompaniment, so we'll leave that on. You can also put on my part, but again, sometimes people forget to plug in the headphones after calibrating the mic, and then it's really, really distorted. It already sounds bad when the accompaniment is playing through the speakers, especially on a laptop, into the microphone. But I'm going to leave those on for now. Cursor type, you can do any type. You can play with this. If you just open a piece, you can see what it looks like with the different options. So I'll just put any, and the students can change that. Measure highlight can be helpful for some students. I find it to be distracting personally. Sight reading, we're going to leave off. Sight reading, once you send the assignment, they'll have an allotted amount of time that you decide, and then they just have to go and record it. They can't practice, which is good in some contexts, but we're not going to do that to the beginners in here. Assessment mode, click allow both melodic and percussion clapping. You could use percussion and clapping mode for assigning a difficult rhythm. You just want to make sure they know how to execute that rhythm without notes. So we're going to do melodic and percussion. And then assessment tolerance is, you have different options. We're going to go with lenient instead of average since we're beginners. And then go up here and push next. And then we've got same setup for all parts. If you clicked custom setup, you could change the range for the different instruments. We're only going to be assigning it on alto saxophone. So we'll do same setup. And then these options down here say from where to where and what tempo do you want. Well, I'm going to say any is fine. And this is where you put in specific instructions. So I'm going to say use whole note, air, strong and steady, tongue, lightly on the reed, keep the air flowing. I feel like I'm always saying that to everyone anyways, okay? Keep the fingers on the curls, ready to move to the next note. Okay. And we click next. And this is where you will create a rubric. Now I have quite a few rubrics that I've already made. You can see, for example, let's go to tone production. I created a multiple level rubric for tone production where level 1 are beginning, these are my parameters, and this is the percentage of the total points for that aspect of the recording. Lack of understanding of how to produce a tone, weak tone, unfocused. Okay, and then I have developing as the next step up, a level 2. Which is 70%, it's like a C. And then we've got a B, which is advancing, good tone. Maybe the air stream is steady but kind of weak. Or maybe the embouchure is slightly off. And then accomplished, which is, what we all want is 100. Okay, so we've got that criterion, those criterion. Tone is really important to me. We're going to add that to the rubric. I also want to make sure that articulation is good. Let's see what I said for articulation. Again, I have the same 4 levels, beginning, developing, advancing, and accomplished. Maybe a little bit different percentage of all of those, but it's still very important to me, and we'll add that to the rubric. To make your own criterion, you just click this blue button, criterion. You can do a single criterion, pass-fail kind of thing, or multiple. And obviously for multiple, you would start with 1, and then put there, and you can change the percentages. So, and then the order as well. So like level 1 could be 20%. Level 2 could be and so on. I'm just making it up now until you have a certain number of levels, but this is a mess. We're going to get rid of that. Okay, and then let's see. Technique, even though it's just 2 notes in this particular exercise, we're going to add technique. Make sure you got the right notes. And then rhythm, you can add rhythm to the test as well. Technology is just something I did for this class. Did you calibrate it? This is a single criterion. Did you do what I said with the microphone and plug it in or not? Which is important. Let's add that so we learn how to use the machines. Then we decide how many points each of these criterion is worth. So let's say we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technology is like the least of my worries. You guys are going to be good at rhythm. Let's just give 5s, and then really for beginners, you really should care about, are they blowing the air the right way and are they using their tongue the right way? And I guess, what, technique's a thing. Okay, so that's it. And then, so you'd have a total of 40 points here. I can go to next. And you created a template for your first assignment. Do you want to assign it? We'll click yes, assign now. And then you get this. You can see all the rubric criterion and the points assigned. Here's your school, and then you're going to pick your class from the drop down. Assign it now. They're going to get it immediately. So your homework for this segment is to just assign it by Wednesday. And then students are going to have to record it by Friday. So what's today? Today's the 25th. So let's make the students have it turned in by Friday. Okay, and it's midnight is fine. Okay, we'll allow late submissions, but be a good neighbor, just get it done. And then we're going to assign it to everybody. And we click next, and you're done. And then you've assigned it. And that's it. And then so let's look in, I'll go into my student account, you can see. Okay, now I'm in my student account, and I'm a bad student, I have a bunch of late assignments, but it's fine. Pending assignments, you can see, this is the one I made in class today, but here's the one we just did. And then you're going to select the instrument. Remember, the assignment would work on any instrument, but we need to select E flat alto saxophone because that's what we're learning in methods right now. And click OK, and it'll open. It tells you the instructions. You guys are used to seeing this. You can see all the rubric points. I wish it had more detail about the different layers, but that's okay. You guys saw that you can hit pause on the video to read that a little better, okay? And then you would just do what you normally do, right? Calibrate the microphone, plug in headphones, and go. And then once you finish recording, you can also save your tracks. I recommend that in case something weird happens with the internet. Save the tracks, because then you could always just email them if there's a problem. But you will submit your recording, and then you're done with that portion. But that's not due till Friday. Okay, so that is it. Please make sure that you have obviously created your class as an educator, and remember to invite a friend from the class. And if you're that friend that's going to take, the Jedi Order class, that you are signing in, joining the class using your student account. I know it's like a lot, it's brain damage to have 2 different accounts, but you're getting some really great experience for free as a teacher as well as a performer. So have fun, and I'm actually going to be recording these for you too. I'm looking forward to what you pick out for me.